Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about astrology and the death of Regis Philbin. Some of you may have heard of him. I would consider him a Hollywood icon. He was he was a host of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and he is obviously somebody that is gone, but it's going to be sadly missed. He died at the age of, I believe he was 88 when he passed, and I don't have a time of birth for him, so I had to improvise once again, do a solar/sunrise chart. I based it on Astro.com, and Astro.com did not have a time for him, and so I did the solar sunrise chart in which I put the sun at the same point or position as the ascendant. Now, Regis Philbin was born on August 25th, 1931. He has Sun in Virgo. The solar sunrise time puts his Sun at 1 degree Virgo, and his Moon at 0 degrees, looks like 0 degrees Aquarius, and his Moon is either in Capricorn or Aquarius, depending on the actual birth time. Now, something I'm going to talk about some natal placements and some transits that might have contributed to this. Now, from one source I saw online, he died of reported he died just of natural causes. So we're just talking about just general, just older age. I mean, thing that I noticed is that one thing that stands out is that transit Pluto was not far from his natal Saturn at the time, and Saturn can be about older age. The death was associated with that, at least according to one report. Now, something I notice is that he has in his chart, he has a looks like he's got a cardinal grand cross in his chart, which consists of Pluto in Cancer, Mars in Libra, Uranus in Aries, and Saturn in Capricorn. Now, when you have a transit that hits a point, or at least opposes one point, or makes an aspect to at least one of these points, I would say that could activate at least some of this, this energy. And you're talking about transit Pluto is making an opposition to his natal Pluto. Pluto being involved in this, Pluto, of course, is the planet that is associated with death. Now, another thing, and when you have any transits like this, a lot of times significant events can happen at this time. Now, transit Pluto is not is making an opposition, or at least a loose one, to his natal Pluto, but it doesn't square the Mars or Uranus because the orb is it's going to be too wide for it. But it does at least make a little bit of a loose opposition to his natal Pluto, and I do think this could have played some role in his death. Now, the fact that transit Pluto was by his natal Saturn certainly could have played, obviously been prominent in this sense. He did die apparently of natural causes. And natural causes, you're basically looking at just older time, and you're talking about just general wear and tear, deterioration of the body, etc. And the body, there's certain time when it just things just are going to stop, basically stop operating or stop working naturally. And one thing I noticed too, I'm looking at his natal chart. He's got the Sun conjunct Neptune, so it makes me wonder if he may have had some issues. I don't know if he did or not, but the Sun is connected with the body in astrology. Yes, the ascendant is what dominates the physical appearance in the physical body, and often health-related issues. But the Sun can play a role in the physical body as well. The fact that Neptune is conjunct his Sun makes you wonder if he may have had some issues that were Neptune related, that it could be associated with the lymphatic system, the feet, or the toes, perhaps, or it could even be an accidental chemical assimilation. And also, too, Neptune is dissolving, dissipating energy. So it's an indicator if somebody has Neptune on their sun, it's a gradual dissolving and dissipating of the energy, of the vitality of life. And when he died, if assuming he did die of natural causes, that's what that reflects as well, I believe, in this case, and how it may have manifested in his passing. Now, another thing is Neptune is also one of the eighth house rulers in his chart. So that's conjunct the sun. So it's not surprising that his death was something that would be put into the spotlight. Now, he also, I noticed too, he's got Venus in Leo conjunct his sun as well. Now, I'm not talking about as far as anything associated with his death, but as far as his life, it's not surprising. I mean, Venus and Leo obviously can, by itself, can make money through the entertainment field, and it's very gregarious energy, and the in enjoyment of extroversion and gregariousness. The fact that the sun is there, it's not surprising that he was that this really shined that light on this, so to speak, and the fact he was able to really, I should say, shine in that in a money making field that was associated with entertainment. Now, another thing, looking at his chart. Now you're looking at some other things too. He has in his natal chart, I should say, in the solar sunrise chart at this time, he did have transit Mars hitting his eighth house, and also conjunct his. It looks like it's conjunct his natal Uranus, at least well, I should say a loose conjunction to it at this time. You have Mars really when it's involved in transit with Uranus, it's making a contact with it. It can be something unanticipated of a physical nature. It may be, I mean, Uranus in the eighth house by itself can indicate a death that comes very spontaneously, very shockingly, unexpectedly. I don't really see that in this case, though, because when you're 88 years old, you know you're at a point in your life where you can go virtually any time. Now, Pluto in Cancer he has in his natal chart. I know that's generational, but that is the home. Cancer does rule the home. Pluto is associated with death, so it wouldn't be surprising to me if he actually did die in his home. Now, another thing as well, when I'm looking at this, I'm just seeing if there's anything else that may have pointed to him actually, as far as the manner in which he died. You're looking at, well, the fourth house at the end or latter part of life. He has Scorpio on that, and he also has the ruler of that fourth house in the second house. Now, the second house in astrology can correspond with the zodiac sign Taurus, so it shows me that the end of life may have been actually very peaceful and tranquil for him. Now, another thing that I'm noticing, I'm looking at in his chart. Now, he also had transit Neptune, making an opposition to his natal Mercury. Now, the thing about it is, this comes with older age anyway, but it tells me that there might have been some dissolving as far as the thinking goes to some degree. Mercury in Virgo natally. Mercury in Virgo natally, I mean, can have, I mean, his mind may have really been, tells me, was really punctilious with details, very analytical, able to see, very minute things, very organized. But when you have transit Neptune making an opposition to it, that can sometimes cloud the memory a little bit, the judgment to some degree. The thinking can be a little bit fuzzy, a little bit more nebulous and unclear. So it wouldn't surprise me if that was actually transpiring at this time when he passed, sadly. Now, another thing that I'm noticing too, I'm looking at his looking at his chart, okay, he's got the North Node in Aries in the 8th house. That would put the South Node in Libra. Now, the Moon at this time, the transit Moon, was moving away, of course, or at least conjunct the South Node. And when you're talking about like the South Node, I mean, when the Moon is hitting the South Node in astrology, in some cases, when you have this involved, I mean, you're talking about the South Node in astrology can be about what we're going away from. And when you have the Moon involved in transit, we can look at it as the soul. Some may see it as the spirit. But what it is it can signify sometimes where that spirit or soul, whatever, however you want to perceive it, is moving, it could be moving away. The fact that it's in Libra very peacefully, again, not to be overly redundant with this, but his passing was apparently was due to natural causes, was due, just, I mean, 88 years old, it's safe to surmise that it was attributed to older age. And really, there's not much more really wanted to really I can add to it than this. Again, it's just terrible. We talk about people passing. At least, with him, it was he lived a very good life, a very long life as far as his longevity goes. Obviously, lived a lot longer than a lot of people, than a lot of other people. I mean, the average age, I mean, for a male, American, might be like 78, 79. I'm not really sure 100%, but he definitely lived considerably longer than what the average American male lives. So the thing is, it's just again, it's just terrible that he had. Everyone has to go at some time. It's a shame that it did. That this did transpire with him, but we all have to go, of course, at some point in time. And grace of God that he did live, very long life, and I'm sure, based on what he did, very prosperous as well. So, so anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.